greetings everybody. How are you? I hope you are fine and you are doing great. My name is Matt, aka Dichaba, and I'm doing great too. Now let's get on to it, shall we? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about rhythms, and it is both a simple and a complicated matter. But I think instead of talking in detail and technically about it, I will demonstrate it, and then when you feel that you want to study it further, you can do so at a later stage. Now remember, for now, the most important thing is to get you playing. The nitty-gritties are not so important as such in the beginning stages. I mean, like the details, right? That's what I'm referring to by the nitty-gritties. So rhythm and rhythms are like chords and scales. You remember this is a G chord and scale. So you basically, there's a couple of chords you need to learn and know to get going. So you also need to know some basic rhythms to get going. Strumming patterns are another name for rhythms. So another way to think of rhythms is this. Rhythm is what drums are for, right? So drums give us rhythm. So when we're playing rhythm, we are rhythm as guitar players. It's like you're playing drums on your guitar, right? So it's like when you go, so it's like boom, 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 you know, on the drums, that sort of thinking. So different genres of music have their own rhythms that they focus on. For example, reggae has reggae rhythms, rumba or salsa has rumba rhythms, gospel has its own, jazz has its own, etc. So the best place to start is to listen to the drums of those genres that you like, and then try to copy what they do with the notes or chords you have. So if you know these two chords, the G major and the E minor, if you have these two, you listen to the drums and just try to emulate what those drums in whatever song that you're listening or whatever genre that you like are doing. So with that being said, let's dive into the basic rhythms that we need to master as beginners of guitar. And so we shall start by applying these rhythms to rhythm guitar style of playing, and afterwards we're going to do it for lead guitar style of playing. So you're going to need a metronome for this, right? So a metronome is, let me put this guitar down for a minute. So a metronome, so I have this here. This is my drum pad, practice pad for drums. I don't really play drums. I got it for the metronome. It has inbuilt. So listen to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a metronome. That's what you need, right? So well, you don't have to buy this. So there's a physical metronome that you can buy. I don't know what their price ranges are, and you can also get a metronome app on your phone. You go into your app store and you get one. I've always used the one in my phone, but unfortunately now I can't use it or demonstrate it because I'm using the phone to shoot the video. So we're going to be using this metronome to teach you the different types of rhythm. I'm going to have to put it here. Hopefully it works. And then you pick up the guitar. Hopefully it doesn't fall. There we go. My foot's slow. There we go. Right. So the first rhythm that I'm gonna teach you, or that we're gonna do, that sounds better, is called the whole note, right? So the idea behind the whole note is that you play one chord or one note for 4 beats. Like so. Listen to this. So this pa, 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 that's a beat, right? So the whole note says you play one chord for 4 full beats, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how it goes. So I'm going to be doing these demonstrations using the chord of G major. Oh wait, I didn't count clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4. make the chord to sound and ring for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So that is the whole note, right? It has, maybe let me play, let me do this. Wait. Okay, so we're gonna use this progression. So I'm gonna play the beat now, and then play this chords so I'm gonna be playing G major, E minor, and D major, and then back to G major with whole notes. And listen to how it sounds and how it's gonna change when we move to the other types of beats. So that was the whole note, and then now we're going to be moving to the half note. So what the half note says is that you play one chord for 2 beats. In other words, it must last for 2 beats. So now in a measure, so when you say 1, 2, when you count and you say 1, 2, 3, 4. So all these 4 beats, that thing is called a measure, right? So now when you move to the half note, it says for every chord you have to play, or every chord has to last for 2 beats, right? So now in one measure we have 4 beats, right? So this is mathematics, right? So you're gonna have to really think about this. It took me a little while to get it as well, like in terms of playing, but you can just do the maths yourself. And get it going. So now we're going to be playing the half note. So what it says is that every chord should last for 2 beats. 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, 3, 4. So the counting goes like that. So what you do is 1, 3. You see, so you don't count. So you play on the 1 and the 3, right? So this is how it sounds. So now we're going to do the same thing, but applying it to those 4 chords that we used in the previous rhythm. Now listen to how it changes and how the song kind of like sounds differently. Alrighty, so if you want to get that, you can just simply rewind the video and see that part. So now we're going to be moving to the quarter note. So the quarter, or the quarter note, says that you'll play one chord for 1 beat. So the chord should last for 1 beat, right? So remember with the first one, the whole note, it lasts for 4 beats. It rings for 4 beats. With this, with the half note, it rings for 2 beats, and then with the quarter note, it rings for 1 beat, right? So check this out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you basically play on each and every beat, right? So I'm gonna apply it now to those chords that we have, the G, E, and G major, right? 3, 4. You see what's happening? Right, so that was the quarter note for you. Again, you can just repeat and practice it, right? So you see what's happening. So the chords are the same, but it sounds entirely different simply because we're changing the rhythms, right? It's amazing how it works. So now we're going to be moving to the 8th note. So the 8th note is a little bit difficult to explain, but when you play it, you must say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So basically it's like you're having a pie divided into 4 pieces, and then you take those pieces, you divide them into half, then you're going to be having 8 small pieces. This is basically fractions in maths, you know, that sort of thing. You can, if that helps, think in those lines. So with 8th notes, so I'm going to have to change here on the metronome. Let's set it up to 8th notes. Can you hear how the metronome is counting? The metronome is still on the same tempo, which is 70 beats per minute, but now it says, listen to this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So now we're going to have to apply that to the chords that we have. Listen to this. And like I said, another name for this is called strumming patterns. So if you approach it from the strumming patterns perspective, you don't even have to think about the numbers. It's like you just have to know that there's this, they call it down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And I think that's one of the fastest ways to learn this thing. And then you can always change later and switch to thinking about it mathematically and all of those things. You can decide and all of those things. So now I'm just going to play it. Now I'm just going to play it with those, let me reduce the volume. So I'm just going to play it with those, what do you call those chords that we have, the G major, the E minor, and the D, right? And it's going to sound like this. Sounds very nice, doesn't it? So that was the 8th note, and that was the last one we were gonna do. But what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate another useful one, but I don't necessarily think it's for beginners, but who am I to just decide what's good? So I'll just do this last one. It's called the 16th note. So you have a pie, you divide it until you have 16 small pieces. I'm gonna reduce the tempo to 40 and because it's gonna increase the speed, right? So with this one, what happens is when you count them out loud, you're gonna have to say 1 E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and so forth, right? So you just have to learn to vocalize them. There's no way around it. Can you hear what it is saying? So now, so when you're playing it on your guitar and you mute, if you just hold it like this, when there's no sound coming out, that's how it sounds like, right? So the notes have to sound for those small intervals, right? So 1 E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and R, 4 E and R, 1 E. Wait, I didn't start the blood, please. E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and R, 4 E and R. Right, so I'm just gonna play, listen to how it sounds like. So sometimes don't think about it, just listen to how it sounds like and play, you know. Let me put this down real quick and page on my book. So that was basically it for the rhythms that we use for playing rhythm style guitar. And you can play this rhythm style guitar, you know, that just means you're playing in chords on acoustic and of course on the electric guitar, right? So what's gonna happen next is I'm gonna end this video here, and what's gonna happen, and then I'm gonna switch to the lead guitar, and show you how you can apply the same logic, the same thinking to that style of playing. So it's a win-win situation for both, whatever style that you want to play in, or if you want to combine them. So now this is the way to get you going, and don't limit yourself to these rhythms. And if you really love music a lot, all of these rhythms are already actually inbuilt in you already. It's just gonna get technical now because of how I'm speaking about it. But if you just kind of like, whenever you have a chord and you just play whatever you're feeling, it's a rhythm of sorts, all right? But I recommend starting with these basic ones so you can learn how to think of them in that sense, and be creative with them, and control them. And as you advance in your playing, so you can play one chord with whole notes, and then the second one you play it in eighth notes, and the third one you play it in eighth notes. Right. So I'm gonna do that again. So yeah, that's essentially how music is made, when you kind of like mix these rhythms, right? So it's called syncopation in musical language. And so yeah, that's more or less it. And that's it for this lesson. I'll see you in the next lesson, my friends. Take care.